that was endorsed. And again, I'm a person that really didn't know much, but I was explained that if this person was endorsed, this person was supposed to have been on the ticket when we went out and canvassed. Do you know when I got his area for canvassing? This is how manipulating they were. They had us out canvassing the day of the election. The morning of the election, we were out canvassing instead of work. This is how
well, that's standard.
Again, guys, for me, it was we didn't get this package until that day. So I had worked the whole month on the election, and we didn't get this area until the day of the presidential election.
Now, had you been canvassing before?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I had already been canvassing, and we had asked, because of course, just so happened it was just a whole way. I was working for that campaign, but then I also had the opportunity to canvass. So when I got the opportunity to canvass, of course, the campaign I'm working for is going to ask me to ask for the packet for him, who was endorsed.
So was the other candidate a Democrat as well, or not?
She what? You know what? She was a Democrat, but she wasn't endorsed. Like right now, guys, I have an opportunity to work with someone that's running for the House of Delegates here in Virginia, right? And she's doing independent. And she's recently got a call from the Democratic Party, almost threatening her.
So the person that was endorsed didn't win. Someone else won, but so they were on the ballot as well.
May I for a second? So one of the things that happened.
Hold on a minute. I just hold on, sir. Please.
I'm trying to help you with the answer to the question.
Okay, but just hold on a minute. You know what? Go ahead. Y'all so damn rude. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out how he can answer a question of something I did.
Go ahead, help me.
It's systemic, but go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing that I think would be helpful is that in every democratic institution that I know of across the country, there's an endorsement process. And if you win the endorsement, it's different like what you need to do to win the endorsement. The local Democratic Party and all of its clubs, all the county committee, the state, any money that's flowing from any Democratic Party institution has to go to the endorsed candidate. And all the time, unfortunately, not all the time, very regularly, there are state parties and local parties that are violating these rules. I can tell you in my state, when Dave Jones ran against Angelique Ashby, Dave Jones won the endorsement, but the state party wasn't giving him the support he was supposed to be getting, and behind the scenes, they were giving support to Angelique Ashby. And that's not how it's supposed to work.
You did break me down exactly what happened, sir. And thank you for doing that. Because that, and for me, I'm just a business person. I'm looking at what you say you're supposed to do and what the rules are. So if a party is saying these are the rules, this is what we're supposed to do. Imagine a person like me, this business owner that's coming into this. I'm fairly new. I help people with other positions, mayor, vice mayor, because I'm a promoter. So they come get me all the time. But I learned that I cannot support everybody, because when I need to make a phone call and need something done for the children, because I'm a founder of a nonprofit organization as well, I can't call them. Because after you put them in place, they don't care anymore. So for me now, it's about, if I'm going to promote or bridge or help anyone get into a seat, it's going to be someone that I know that I can at least contact later on, that I need some help, I have questions and things like that. But I have to be honest, guys. I have been watching the Democratic Party, and I had an opportunity to work with the Democratic Party this year for this election, or last year. enough for me to say that I can't support that party.
You mean you can't work for them again?
No, I can't support them again. I don't even know who I'm gonna vote for.
Why is that? So you can't support them because you don't like their policies for what?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I'm gonna tell you why I can't support them. And having the opportunity to work the election just put the nail in the coffin for me, right? We have Bobby Scott represents us here in Virginia, and he's been in place a long time. You know, he's Democrat, and there's a lot of things that's just not right here with our children in the city of Newport News, just schools, just a lot of things that are not right. I'm not saying Bobby Scott has not fought for a lot of things and got things done, but he's older now. It's time for some new, fresh ideas. And the
would the Gestapo be a good, fresh idea? Would a Gestapo, would that...
And the gatekeeping that the elders do and sit in position and do not let new young people who make you come in and make changes is something that I've had enough of. And working the election showed me how they're able to keep these people in place. Like Tina Vick here sits on our city council, another Democrat. You know how long she's been sitting there because nobody want to run against her because she's Michael Vick's son. It's just like simple things for me, guys.
Is Medicaid something that you want, you want taken away? Like, would that be a new
No,
idea?
Medicaid is not something I want taken away. But guess what? Everything, like I just had to fight for someone's Medicaid that's on oxygen that came out from hospital that nobody was helping. So just like, you can say that, but it's a lot of things that are not happening properly. And that's all I'm saying about that. No, I don't want Medicaid to go away. But it is things that need to change. And you have a lot of elders and a lot of people who are already falling through the cracks even without this happening.
A day later, Achilles saw cutting down the farmer.
Because I do that type of work. That's how I know. Just like working in the park. I don't do a lot of talking about things that I don't actually live and do. So when I decided, because I already had it on my mind, about like what party am I going to be? Because I don't like a lot of the things I'm seeing.
So, Aaron, can I ask you a question? Since you understand, you gave the background or how that works. Is it embezzlement happening?
I mean, I wouldn't use that word. I mean, I'm not going to co-sign everything that I just heard because there's a bunch of things I disagree with. And I don't think embezzlement is the right word. Like,
So
that's
can
a
you
specific
explain
crime.
what happened because I did it?
Yeah, so the thing that's wrong is, so you got, like, imagine like there's a sporting event, right? And like you win if you have the most points. And then you win the game, you're supposed to advance in the tournament. But then someone's like, actually, you had 13 people on your team, and it should have been 14. And we didn't say anything before the game, but now we're going to disqualify you. Like, you're not going to get what you deserve by winning the game. That's kind of what's happening here, right? So if you, or at least there's one piece of it, which I understand and I'm sympathetic to, okay? Which is, if I win the endorsement, so in California, I can tell exactly how it works. So there's delegates, the delegates vote. It's a little more complicated, so I'm going to make it a little bit simpler because it's just sort of silly, how ridiculous, how deep the rules go. So if I'm running for Congress, let's say I'm in California's 12th district, and I get a 60% majority of all the delegates in my California Democrat in their official capacity then has to support me. If they make a speech in public, it has to be supporting me. If they spend money, it has to be supporting me. That's the rules of the game. What sometimes happens is that Democratic Party officials break their own rules and they don't support the candidate. And this is a huge problem because one of the most important things they're supposed to do is give you data, and that data is worth a lot of money. They're supposed to have their clubs go out and knock on doors and make phone calls for you, and, all that. And they're also they're very, specifically forbidden from working for the other candidates in the primary. So if there's 5 Democrats in my district, the only one any Democratic Party club or institution is allowed to support is me. So that's what I'm hearing is the problem that this woman faced in her particular race was or I don't know if the candidate was a man or a woman, but that the candidate faced was that they won the endorsement, but they didn't actually get what they were supposed to get for that endorsement. And this happens too much.
So
it's
the
not a lot, but it's too
other
much.
side with the embezzlement, let me tell y'all that part. The embezzlement part I seen was a person could come there and say, I have 5 other people in my party with me doing that, coming out and canvassing with me, right? And the 5 people don't have to be there. She gave the 5 packets to the lady. And you come back with your packets and you get the gift cards for each packet. That's exactly how it went. So what do you call that? She didn't have the 5 people with her. She got 5 packets to canvass, 5 different areas. Came back with your packets checked off, because you had to check off whether the person was there, when you knocked on the door, did you talk to them? Seriously. You have to knock on the door, you say, did you talk to them? Did you not talk to them? Are they going to vote? Are they not going to vote? This is what we had to do. You get 5 packets, and I'm talking about, you got 200 people. You get 200 people per packet. Almost. You go in whole apartment complexes doing this.
So Tamara, it sounds like
that's called people finessing the system. They ain't got nothing to do with the party.
It was like 2 things. I think she saw things on 2 different levels.
Me too. That's what I got out of it too. Sorry, Doctor.
Yeah. No problem. Like what Aaron described, in terms of a state election, you are supposed to support the endorsed candidate. And it sounds like they didn't want to support the endorsed candidate, so she witnessed. Technically, that's I don't know. Is that illegal activity or just unethical activity? I don't know how to describe it.
It's illegal.
It's just unethical.
It's illegal.
Supporting the wrong candidate is not illegal. It's just against the rules of a private club. That's all the Democratic Party is ultimately.
Now, and then if, for example, if what she's saying is correct, that they were paying canvassers to not put out the person's information.
They were paying canvassers, right? But a person could come up and say, I have 5 other people that's going to be with me today.
Right.
5 people don't have to be there.
Well, I got that, Jeff.
Those are people finessing the system for some money. That is normal shit. Well,
Yeah.
Most
I
people
wouldn't. Yeah, those aren't the same things. Yeah, those aren't the same things. One is the first thing you're talking about is a legitimate criticism of the inner workings of some people in the Democratic Party who aren't following the rules. The other one is, like what Brooklyn said, people finessing the system just to get more money, out of campaigning. Even in my city, there were people that were saying they were campaigning in certain neighborhoods, but they weren't really doing that. You know what I mean? And so that, like, you would think that they're going door to door, but they're not necessarily doing that. You know, I mean, I guess like there's a level of fraud, you know, fraudulent behavior, you know, that some people engage in, but that's not like, I think for your for what you're talking about, Tamara, you have to ask yourself, are you sure you want to switch parties, or do you want to be the whistleblower? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the corrective person? Do you want to like find somebody to actually run? Do you want to be in charge of the state party? I mean, there's a number of different things. I mean, I do feel bad because it does sound like you're somebody that you know, sort of an innocent person that was looped in, and then you get to see like fraud, and now you're like disaffected.
Well, I already had, from what I explained to you, I already kind of had, you know, some
Misgivings.
just regard on the elders just sitting in the seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I go to city council meetings and I go to school board meetings and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm seeing how my age range of people, I'm 50, late 30s to 40s, they're not even voting or even taking part in any of this stuff, right? So, it's like we're stuck with whatever, you know, whoever's in place, we're pretty much stuck with.
That's great.
And a part of doing these different things is what you're supposed, it's your civic duty. So I do these things because it's what I'm supposed to do as a community leader. But what I realized is I can't do that for everybody. That's one of the things I share with you all. And they're getting in these seats and they're doing their personal agenda. And one of the things I'm gonna share, and people probably don't like because I say this and people don't like it when I say it, but Donald Trump made a statement and he said that, you know, we built this country. We did it. But the people that are in the seats are not doing what's supposed to be done for the people. And if I'm going to stand for a party or something,
including Donald Trump, go ahead.
Including him too. But again, I'm 50, sweetie, and I've been following this a while with the Democrats and the people. I'm out here helping the children and all types of stuff.
Miss, can you explain to me what kind of argument you're making right now? Like,
I'm not arguing.
I'm not
arguing. I'm communicating.
What exactly are you saying? It's giving you as a campaigner for the Democrats.
Brooklyn, 1 second. Tamara, she's asking, what is your main point?
Yeah, what's the
what
point?
Is your main? Yeah, what is it specifically you're concretely saying with everything that you boiled up into? What boiled it up into one?
My main point was I was addressing Doctor when she was kind of like somewhat minimizing what I seen, and no, I'm not gonna let what I seen be minimized.
She's not minimizing it, but I am.
I'm not.
Because that shit is crazy. Actually, Dr. is being nice. I just don't understand what you're saying at all. It's given that you're that you're promoting, or you're saying that Donald Trump is doing something good, while saying that you was a canvasser for the Democrats. You've seen some crooked work. It's like you don't seem like you're deep into politics enough to even have this. But what are you even saying to me? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And don't try to throw Dr. Goddess under the bus. Thank you.
Your question up here is, are Democrats out of touch? So, for me, I think that I'm communicating correctly for what your title is. I'm just a person who came here and wanted to share my testimony on what I experienced.
But based on your argument, you seem out of touch too. I'm just saying, it don't seem like you know what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
I'm very in touch.
But you're not.
How many city council meetings and school board meetings?
It don't even make sense what you're saying. That's how out of touch you
I'm going to ask you one more time. How many city council meetings and school board meetings do you go to for your community? I'm going to close my mic there.
So, Tamara, my only issue with what yours, because I believe that you had that experience campaigning, and I am sorry about that. But that's not like the standard practice across the country. It's just not. I mean, I've seen it happen, I've heard it happen, but it's just not. I mean, even Aaron, told us a story about what happened in his in a state election, in a totally different state. So we know it happens, but that is no reason to. So it sounds to me like, and I hate to give you this challenge, but because you're so involved, it sounds like you need to step up your game. It sounds like you all who are upset about the local representation, you need to put up a different candidate. Like, it sounds like you feel a little defeated, like you can't make a change. And I disagree, with this idea that like everything has to stay the same. If you feel like your local representative is older and out of touch, then put up a new candidate or run yourself. Period. That's what has to happen, and that you can win. Like, local elections are not hard to win. They just
really?
Are dedicated and want
Not
to
hard to win a local
But I guess
election.
the other question, because we've been in here and we have been criticizing the Democratic Party. This is true. So it's not like we think, Democrats are perfect, everything is okay, but at the same time, you need to do a gut check on your values and like what you want to represent, because that's part of the reason why somebody asked you, do you care about Medicaid and stuff like that, because we're at war. We're literally at war. So you got to decide, like, okay, do you still want to be a Democrat, first of all? And second of all, is there another way that you could operate in the party outside of the fraud? And I'm just going to say, like, this fraud that you witnessed. Because that's just not standard. And if you want new candidates, you can get new candidates. I mean, Michael Vick's on, I get it. I'm sure that the celebrity aspect of it plays a role locally. I'm sure that, because he's really, he was in sports. I've seen that. And it does have an undue influence on people. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't win. Like, if you want her out.
Let me address what you said. I don't have to run for any type of seat, because that's not what I was put here to do, So I help promote and put people in the seat that can help the people. So that's just not for me. But but I can have my own opinion. I can look at the things that I see as a person and form my own opinion. I do have that right.
Okay.
So, at no point in time, I only brought up Donald Trump to say that he said we built the country. So, but from there, I don't
we didn't need you to bring up Donald Trump saying that shit.
Well,
can she clarify that? Because I'm not understanding what she's talking about. Y'all understand what she's talking about?
No. She thought
Okay,
Donald
so
Trump
can
meant
you guys hear this shit? Why don't you stop? Because I'm sitting here going, I got like 40 people on stage.
She said she's not a Trump supporter. She only brought it up to say that one thing about Trump. That's what she said.
Wait, she only brought it up because of what now, Haitian?
At one point she
I didn't hear.
What if she said about Trump?
But she said, Donald Trump said, we built this country. I want to know who you think we meant it. Because I can tell you what Donald Trump meant, and he meant fucking white people. That's what he meant.
Doesn't know. But that's why I said this whole submission is built off of misinformation from the get-go. It's like, I don't even care to hear none of it, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, the corruption is real, but I think most people want to know, how do you go from, yes, there is corruption within the party, just like, by the way, there's corruption in the Republican Party. How do you go from that to throwing away all your values to go to the other party, assuming you are going to go to the other party and not some other third party, which is totally legit?
Did you ask her, Tamara? You plan on going to the other side?
That's what I was going to say. No one asked me this. Everybody just assuming.
Yeah, I asked questions. That's what I do.
I'm sitting here
every day.
listening to all of you all's responses to me. And again, I'm a big person with communication. No one asked me.
Well,
Y'all just assume yourself.
I'm asking
No, but I'm not. That's why I'm asking you: are you going to MAGA or a third party because of this specific instance? Which, by the way, is corruption, and I agree with your story, and I believe that it happened, and it's fucking bullshit. So your next move, is it to MAGA or a third party that supports both your politics, but also something that is a little more ethical in terms of their practices?
So earlier, I communicated with you all that I have a colleague that is running for the House of Delegate, and she's running independent. And she recently got a call from the Democrat Party, almost threatening her.
Wow.
So at this point, that's what, again, I can't do anything but be a person who goes by what I'm seeing and what I'm involved in. That's all I can do. So,
Chad, what do you mean that's part of the, Chad said that's part of the course. What do you mean, Chad?
Oh, like, hey,
I'm bringing the Chad. Hey, Chad.
Hey,
Well,
no, the threat while you're campaigning, that's part that happens. That's why they have security. You get threatened when you're running for office, or even a campaign manager or a chief of staff. You get threatened. That's what I mean. It's part of the course.
Is that unique to one party?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Thank you.
And Tamara, I had said that I'm assuming that you're not alone. So if people agree with you, it doesn't take that many people to suggest that somebody else run against the people that you want to replace. I mean, I just said you should. I said you could be the candidate, but that's okay. You don't have to be. But I also said put somebody else up to run against whoever you don't like. Michael Vick's on. She defeated.
for me, it's not more so not necessarily personally liking the person. It's just about what they're producing for the people, for me. It's not a personal thing. She didn't have anybody run against her.
There you go.
If you all heard me say that part. No one's running against her because she's a bitch.
It doesn't, if you don't run against her, not you, if she doesn't have an opponent, right, she will surely get the office. If she has an opponent.
That was all my statement was.
Okay, so Tamara, I'm a little frustrated because you have like 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And you sound like you're passionate enough to have both feet in.
No,
so
that's what's in with what I'm seeing.
I wasn't saying being in cahoots with the people who are engaged in fraudulent activities. I'm talking about if you live there, if you don't like your representative, if you don't like Michael Vick's on, and other people like it. So one thing that you could do that's real basic I don't know if you want to out yourself, I guess, but so have somebody put up a poll or put up a Facebook post and say, I'm really tired of our local representation. I really want to change on city council. Who's with me? Like just something basic like that so that you're not just out there by yourself. And then you'll see whether or not the people believe that they're being adequately represented or not. And if enough people believe that they're not being adequately represented, then a candidate needs to come and challenge her. If there's no candidate, she will surely be reelected into the same position. That's how democracy works.
I'm not so focused so much on her. That's not, not necessarily my focus. As I said, I have someone running for the House of Delegates, and she's running independent, and she's running because of the lack of integrity, the clickiness, all of what we're dealing with here, in the city of Newport News. It's just a big thing. We just had someone running for treasurer, right? And the person didn't even have the qualifications to even qualify for this position. But he said he didn't have to. You know why? Because he was popular. See, we vote off popularity around here.
Everyone does.
We're not, yeah, I know. We're not voting for the for the issue. So a lot of the people here that are popular are Democrats. So, like I said, guys, it's just a lot of things that I've witnessed over the years. It's okay.
Lisa, that's what we were trying to do prior. Get her point, but I tuned out. So.
She's in a smaller state, y'all. She's in Virginia. It's not LA, so it's like, she's reporting real time what's happening on a local level. It's the same shit happening on a large scale level. We can get upset with what Virginia is.
Virginia is a big state. Seriously.
I know what I'm saying.
It's a populous state.
It's not a metropolitan city.
Huh? Yes, a string of 7 major cities with like 31.
Virginia is a poor fucking state.
Virginia is a rich state. What are you talking about? Northern Virginia has some of the highest per capita incomes.
Virginia has the highest county.
Northern Virginia.
Yeah, but Virginia is not a poor state.
Loudoun County. Loudoun County.
Would you say that about Northern California?
Look up Loudoun County.
You done said enough for tonight. You just stay on mute. This shit is enough. I was listening. You was doing a lot of that extra stupid talk. Mute up for now, forever. Thank you. Y'all can continue. I'm confused.
I was confused too, but I was trying to listen intently because Dr. Goddard wanted us to go ahead and play this out. So I played it out. I understood some of it, and then the rest of it, I didn't understand where there was an issue or what's going on. Because
it was confusing at first. So.
And I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, we partly invited this conversation because we were talking about, everybody was criticizing the Democratic Party, and the whole question was, whether or not the whole party is weak, or, do we need to do other things? Do we need to have fighters? What's going on with the consensus?
We definitely need to have fighters. It's just, to me, it's getting a little bit to the point where, like, what's going on now? All the stuff that's happening for the last, let's just do 30 days. I'm going to go any back any further. What have we seen that's showing us that the Democrats are stepping out there trying to take advantage of this fucking layup or whatever? I'm not going to sit here and bash them all night. I'm just asking questions. And it's not to be bashing them. It's more informational. Maybe I don't see it. Maybe I don't know. But it's saying that all the polls are saying that Dems polls show the party's favorability at record low. I just pulled up another one. So, I mean, this is what we're going into the midterms. I'm just trying to understand, like...
They need to figure out, and look, the Democratic Party is like a concept, is not one thing, right? You got your local clubs, you got your county, you got your state, you got a bunch of different federal institutions. Like, there isn't one thing, even though I know we talk about it that way all the time. So some places they do a good job. Like, I think the Wisconsin State Democratic Party does a pretty good job, for example. Right? I like the yeah, definitely that. You might know better than me because you're right there, man. But like, I think Anderson Clayton, who's leading the North Carolina Democratic Party, seems like a young, energetic person who's got some vision for making things better there. So like, there's good Democrats out there, you know, but they need to seriously work on their overall brand. They need to seriously work on their fundraising. They need to spend their money better. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm just afraid that I don't see a lot of that happening. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the main things that they need to do is they need to paint a vision that is theirs. So much of what they do is we're not him. Vote for us because we're not him. Vote for us because we're not him. Vote for us to stop him. That's not giving the people anything to believe in. You have to give people a vision.
I think that they're relying on common sense, and that goes along the lines of what you just said too, Michael. It's just like, oh, well, people wouldn't vote for that. No, people are voting for that. That's the problem. And so we need to, it's all about, like, when I train people at work, it's about what's in it for me, right? And people need to understand this is how he's hurting you. Because there are Democrats that are going to vote Democrat, and they came through voting Democrat. It's those Democrats that are on that outer edge of the circle and those independents that they need to reach out to, because that's who they lost.
You know what? I disagree. I think that Democrats are failing in a message, in one concise message. It's great that other states or cities or whatever, that their specific Democratic Party in that city or state is doing well, but that does not matter when the party has a messaging issue. For instance, this whole thing with Trump, right? And the Epstein files. This is a slam dunk for Dems. A slam dunk. Yep. Like, why aren't you flooding the media? And I'm a Republican. They've not vote for Trump, and I'm not MAGA. But what I see is, like, this is an easy win. Why aren't you flooding the media? Get your congressmen and your senators out there flooding the media, saying that we are the party of transparency. We are the party that wants to let the American people know that we want these things exposed. So whatever that messaging is, you can tell that they are conflicted on the messaging because they haven't come out with one concise message. Right? Like, this is just an easy win, and they're quiet. You know what flooded the news today? Mike Johnson. One person. When the Dems should have been standing on it. And I think, like, that is a misstep. And what we're seeing is Dems aren't loud enough about what they get right.
Yeah, I'm thinking that logic is.
Well, I think Michael
not logic, not even talking about
earlier. They're like both parties.
Yeah, but if you're saying to people that have repeatedly shown you they do not care, now they could try. It would be nice to see them try, but I don't think it's gonna work. These people have shown time and time again they don't give a fuck. Whatever twist and turn he makes, they'll rock with it. So I think appealing like logical thing, like this is what he's doing to you, I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think it's gonna work.
But hold on a second. You just made it about Trump. I said nothing about Trump. I said Dems messaging, and see, y'all go to that. It should not be about anything that he did. You can touch on it, but make the case that you are there for the American people instead of being anti-Trump. That you are patriots, right? You carve out the messaging for your party instead of just being anti-Trump, and it's like almost second nature for y'all sometimes. It's like, oh, the Trump, we don't care. You gotta hold on to the people you have, because you didn't have black.
To ignore MAGA and act like that's who's running the party. So I mean, it is about Trump, whether we like it or not. That's literally, it's not even about being a Republican. It's about being this hardline MAGA, with these really extreme beliefs. And it's the culture. When anything, this culture is anti. So anything you say, if you could get enough hecklers or whatever, that's just that they're gonna go with that because we're in an anti-intellectualism culture, and I honestly think the best thing to do is wait it out. Trying to figure out a way to message people that do not want to hear you is gonna be a waste of time. That's just really what I think.
I also think the Dems fancy themselves as the adults in the room. Now, that sounds good in theory, but when you're involved in a fight, and when people have forgotten the rules to the game, or have circumvented the rules to the game, and decided they're just going to make up their own and go at it that way, it seems honorable to be the adults in the room, but while the entire game has already been, they've moved on from the game. And forgive me if I'm explaining this and sounds scatterbrained, because it does, but I'm trying to articulate it in a way that makes sense. And they don't, they consider themselves the protectors of the democracy at this point, and that there's one party who's completely gone off the rails. We are not going to participate in that. We are going to hold the line. We are going to protect the institutions, and we're going to wait until they self-destruct, in some capacity, instead of getting down in the fucking mud and getting your hands dirty and playing that same game. That's the only explanation that makes any sense for not messaging or not taking advantage of something like this. So I understand both sides of it, but what does it really get you, I guess, if you're playing the long game and you say, I don't want to participate in this foolish ass childishness with these people. Not only that, but our constituency doesn't like that shit. But the other side of it is your constituency also wants to see you fight back. So it's kind of a confusing message, and I think all of it renders them to just stand still. So I don't really know how to explain that, but that's the best that I think that it is. That's what the only thing that makes sense in the larger scheme, when they just do absolutely nothing. Like where Chad was saying, that you can take advantage of this messaging and say, hey, listen, release this, even if there's no merit to it. Still look like you're pushing back or look like you're fighting back. But I think they have convinced themselves, and I can see both sides of it. That's even as I'm saying it. It's kind of a difficult approach.
What you're saying and what I just explained about my situation or what I experienced is exactly how I feel. I was around a bunch of people who was acting like children.
I don't think the same thing.
In the middle of something that's supposed to be so serious. How can I take them serious?
Who's acting like children? I don't know what you mean.
The Democrats were acting like children?
To me, in the same way.
But that's not what I was saying. Did you follow what I was saying?
From what you described to me, that's what I'm seeing.
Wait, I don't understand what you mean. How so?
It's like everybody when they want to quote Paul Wellstone, they want to use the feel-good quotes. But one of his quotes, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly, is like, when you aren't fighting for something, at some point you have to realize you don't actually believe in that. And that's a thing that I think is a real problem.
I don't understand what you mean I was, to be fair, I was trying to gather the angle that you were coming from. I think in terms of what you meant, like, are you dissatisfied with the Democratic Party, and are you using your local party as an example of carrying the torch for the entire
Is he in the Matrix or am I tripping?
So your local party could be doing something completely in a way that is not reflective of the national party.
But from what you were describing, even with how they're handling, like the young lady
about to me.
So I don't know what the Virginia party does. I don't know, and what I don't even know what city you're in. You said Newport News. Newport News. I don't know how the politics run in Newport News. I don't know what they've been historically.
Let me ask you something. I want to get clear exactly what.
But I wasn't saying. Oh, that's what I was getting to. I wasn't saying what you were saying.
Exactly what you were saying.
So I'll be clear. What I'm saying is the National Party has always had a problem with messaging, but it's from two frames of mind. One being that I'm going to be the adults in the room. I'm not going to descend into madness like the party across the aisle, meaning the Republicans, has descended into madness because their message largely does not resonate, and the things that are important to them do not resonate with a lot of Americans, not even people who have traditionally been a part of their party. Their direction does not align with most of the American people. So they have resorted to things in order to control power and to stay in power. Not to govern, but to stay in power. So that is not the same. I think the party across the aisle, meaning the Democrats, are have been frozen and been paralyzed, even though they have not really been good at messaging ever. So I mean, there's something to be said there as well. So this is not really much different than what they've always done, to be fair, but it's not been this bad. I think when it's as obvious as it is, they've allowed that to paralyze them and to do nothing instead of making a decision to either respond and participate in that to some degree, or to go in the complete opposite direction, and as RJ eloquently put in the chat, is to actually have a message, a vision of the future, to keep saying that, but either message has to be constantly coming at people the same way the nonsense has been coming at other people, which, to be fair, listening to what you have said, it has reached you too. Because I've heard a lot of your critiques about the Democratic Party, like I hear many of the people who are not really informed about the politic. But because the propaganda has come, because they message harder, meaning the Republicans, and I'm saying that without malice, they message harder, they say things all the time. Why they have to do that? Because their message does not resonate with people, so they have to keep pushing it out there. And for people who don't understand it in balance, they tend to go with the message that they hear because they really don't understand either one. But if I can convince you that the Democrats aren't doing anything for you, even though you don't know whether or not that's happening locally or nationally, it's just very confusing. You will be upset with the Democrats, and most of your critiques will be for the Democrats, even though the other side, in which Scotty was alluding to, the other side of the party is doing absolutely nothing for you. As a matter of fact, they're doing things to hurt you. Now, there may be instances where the Democrats could do more, and they absolutely can. They have been paralyzed, like I said, but I'm saying that they're instead of trying to say, listen, I'm going to inject myself into this party and try to make this thing move forward, it's just critique after critique after critique to tell you what they're doing wrong. That's what I've heard from you. That's not what I was saying.
Sir, when I injected myself into the party to actually do the work, right? Okay. To actually find. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When I injected myself in the party to actually do the work, this is what I see. This was the result.
But you keep taking us back to where you are, and we've gotten that messaging already. Yeah, that's what I mean. Where she is, that's what I'm saying. Where you are, where she is.
This is who you have to get messaging to. This is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Very difficult when you kind of running up against a wall. Like, people do not want to hear certain stuff. Like, they're just kind of resistant to it. That's just what I've noticed. We spent, Quinn, and you know this, before the election came, we spent hours. Brooklyn, you was there telling people, all right, y'all know you finna, do X, Y, and Z. And Everybody was nah, and this is why I think this, because everybody who said he wouldn't do it, he did it. Then they still was riding with him. Everything that he's done, he was the president of no war. Now he dropping bombs on niggas. And for everything he does, they make a convulsion or a switch to somehow understand it. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, y'all gonna rock with that, to whatever. What I think is the better option to me is to watch them split apart, because to me it looks like they're about to have a civil war. I just don't think that there's nothing that any Democrat could say to sway the public from what they're doing right now. I really don't. I don't think they do have a messaging problem, but even if they had a good message, it still wouldn't work. I don't think.
But that's not the point. That's not the point, though, and that's not the point I was making, because I don't understand why that keeps being countered, right? Like I'm not understanding, because the messaging problem is, I mean, have y'all seen your approval ratings? Like, damn, matter of fact, let me make an example.
It's lower.
Yeah, it's lower, right, Brooklyn? So Brooklyn, what are the things that matter to MAGA? Give me 3 things.
The trans people, like I was saying, immigration. Why the fuck I ain't thinking immigration and abortion?
Okay, so what 3 things matter to the Dems?
I don't know.
Education, healthcare,
anything that they're trying to do.
Labor. And human
So,
rights. So a lot of people, wait, I think a lot of people, y'all, wait a minute. I mean, look, I have criticism for the party, but I don't think that it's fair, and it's not even accurate to say that nobody's doing anything. I mean, first of all, the Democrats are pushing people to be out in the streets to show their values and to show with their actual bodies that they disagree with Donald Trump's policies.
But I think the issue may be
missing it.
I think the issue with all of it may be that they may be doing all of these things, but the people don't know it, because the people, what we see every day is the shit show that the Republicans are putting us through, and not anything. Right, and it's like the Democrats need to talk more and louder or whatever, and be seen and do all of the things that Trump did when he lost in 2020. I think, like, even if it's a waste of time, they need to do it. It need to be repetitive for the people to, you know what I'm saying, see all the time. But all we see is really nothing. Like, you don't think so?
Thank you, Brooklyn. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like what Republicans and repeal and replace, right, with Obamacare. They really just wanted to repeal it, but they never brought anything else to the table that was better than Obamacare. So their fight against Obamacare failed because they just wanted to be anti-Obamacare, and it didn't work. That's what I'm saying. Dems got to do. You can't. It was a No Kings protest. Great. Now what? What was to come out of that No Kings protest? Right? It should be.
We don't control anything.
The thing is, are y'all increasing? Are y'all increasing like new candidates?
Yes.
Is there a concerted effort for that?
There's more people running for the Democratic Party than any time
a lot.
No, but there's like a crazy number of Democrats running up and down the ballot across the country everywhere you look. I think that they're running more than they were running in 2017. And 2017 was supposed to be really crazy. When it comes to protests are off the charts. There are way more protests in 2025 than there were in 2017, and there were a lot in 2017. A lot. 2025 is like doubling that up or tripling that up. So, like, there's energy, but none of that energy is really from the Democratic Party. Let's not get it twisted. That's grassroots energy, which is great. I'm here for it, and I hope the Democratic Party has the good sense to try to incorporate that energy into the party to build on it. That would be great. Like, that would be fantastic. The people are ready. The people are ready to move. They're ready to be led. But what I would say is that the Dems have two key problems that people were kind of speaking to. One is a distribution problem. Like, it's hard to be loud when you don't control the platforms. Republicans are loud because they control the platform. They've worked for 50 years to correct to control the platforms. The Democrats are way behind. They got a lot of work to do, and they need a lot of money to do it, unfortunately.
But they have.
The other one is the messaging that they do isn't values driven. Like, if I hear one more climate activist use the phrase parts per million, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. No one cares about parts per million. That's not what it's about. Like, connect it to people's lives. Like, there's a bunch of, campers who just died because of climate change, and you can't, figure out how to message that. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, the whole
And so they gotta make it simple, like values, connect to people, because we all have different values. Like, I don't know everyone on the stage, but I can tell you the people that I've connected with, it's because we share values. You could live a whole other life, but where we share values, we can connect.
And that's exactly what they do.
Man, I don't give a fuck.
Okay. I think that the whole there is a certain way that these things do go, and I think you have to just look at history. I mean, you talk about Democrats, but have you seen Trump's rating? It drops, exponentially every month. So just everything has a flip side to it, and I think that when you say we're losing, be clear, the Democrats are losing to MAGA, not the Republicans. No standard Republican could win like how Trump is winning, because it needs to be an extreme person like Trump, and that's why he won. But this won't last. He's doing everything he can to fuck it up, and I just think the country will swing back the other way. I don't think that there is any gain for. And another problem is the Republicans and the MAGAs, they fall in line. On this side, we kind of have a problem with the left and the centrists. Thank you. The left and the centrists, getting in line. But this whole thing about we're losing and all of this other stuff, y'all have lost too. Actually more. So I mean, we'll win again. I just don't think is nothing.
I said so.
Right. Exactly that. My sentiments exactly so.
Can I?
We lost. And then to say, I'm gonna say this in our land, and for the people that are Democrats, don't get psyched out. Let's not this is a black woman who came in the game with 90 days on the clock, raised the most money that's ever been raised, and got extremely close. I don't think a lot of other people could have accomplished that feat. So
but
just
see,
think
I voted for her, and I'm a Republican.
I'm not talking to you. So
clearly
don't right. I'm not. So I don't even know why you keep responding while I'm talking. I'm trying to be respectful. Come on now. But acting like she didn't do well or she just got mobbed is crazy, because she didn't. She got very, very close, and had she had a little more time, she probably would have watched him. I'll laugh.
Can I say something real quick? Peace to the room. Hello, good evening. I just think it's interesting that a lot of people have a lot of things to say about the Democratic Party, about how they're losing, about how they're not doing anything, about how they're unpopular, about how all these things, but they actually have no comprehension of any of the special elections that have happened this year. One, you're in a state in the world where we just had an election last year that, yes, we did lose. We would have lost by a lot more had Kamala not been on the ticket, had Biden been on the ticket, it went to internal polling, which I'm sure none of you read. Secondarily, when you look at all of the different special elections, Democrats have overperformed in almost every single one, including Florida, where Josh Wheel is running for the Senate seat that Marco Rubio had against Ashley Moody, the lieutenant governor who got appointed by DeSantis, which I know probably none of you know as well. Secondly, when it comes to the party, you do have a lot of candidates. You have an open performance. You have a long list of people who decided to start running who weren't going to run. You have people, even David Hogg, very much on the far left, who he's propped up. Yeah, they're not winning because a lot of the establishment Dems or more liberals that have decided to run, they're the ones winning. Like if you look at the primary tonight in Arizona 7, which I'm sure no one probably followed in this room. The daughter of the man who died, I will say that in little jog of memory, she actually won the primary, not David Huff's candidate. But Democrats aren't doing anything. Democrats aren't winning. No one's running. Everyone's doing everything wrong. Both sides are the same. Democrats will never win again. Democrats have no strategy. Democrats didn't just go in New York. Yes, in a D+30 state, but their far left candidate didn't just overperform and actually make history with his particular numbers. Democrats, no one cares. Democrats are going to lose New York. Democrats, Hope is probably going to lose to the Republican that's in the House that's going to run against her. Democrats are going to lose everything. California is going to be lost. Let me make sure. Cheryl over in New Jersey, she's going to lose too because the dumbasses in this room think so. Because they don't know anything about politics. They don't follow politics. They don't listen to anything. They are retarded people who come on this app and run their mouth. They don't actually study or know any data. They can't cite any sources. They don't know anything about the party. They just know about the vibes. That's exactly how this party always, how people always are on this app. Come on, spread bullshit misinformation, have dumb anecdotal experiences that don't actually amount to anything, say canvassing instead of canvassing, and we sit in this room and listen to them because these people are fucking stupid and we're bordering that. I pointed out bored, I'm gonna go back to the audience, but it's embarrassing to listen to some of you talk on stage. You don't know about anything you're fucking talking about, you're actually retarded. Stop talking about politics, you need to read a book, actually get on. You don't even have to watch CNN. You can go watch any other news program that talks about the local elections, talk about all of the swing states, swing districts, the vulnerable ones. What is the $90 billion recession package that was voted on that Murkowski and Collins voted that they won't even allow to proceed? You don't know. You don't know about anything that the Dems are doing behind the scenes to stop certain things. You don't know about Josh Hawley, who decided, oh, I'm a Republican and I'm going to now try to put an amendment forth, a bill forth that's going to say, guess what? The Medicaid that we voted for, the OBB will no longer go into effect. Like you don't follow politics. You run your mouth. You go on Twitter. You go on Facebook. You see your dumb old relatives talk about shit. You don't understand anything you're talking about. These rooms are important to educate people, but a lot of you don't want to be educated. You're just fucking stupid and wrong. Stand in your dumb opinions and think your vote matters. It does not matter. Your one opinion doesn't matter. The collective is not on your side. You're one of the unfortunate, forgotten idiots who are never going to change your mind. And no one cares about trying to evangelize you. I don't care if you in this room think that's why they did it. Look, fuck you. I don't care. You're wrong. I'm right.
Okay, I agree. Hold on. I've been trying to jump in. Hold on, y'all. Is that Lisa? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Lisa. I know.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I'm trying to just stay quiet because of certain subjects that I'm not mastered. I agree with Matt, but except for the name calling part, but I agree with what he's saying. So this is spaces to learn. I don't really agree with calling each other names. I don't. Because, stupid, ignorant, dumb, all that, I don't think we should be doing that because if people are here, maybe they are here for that reason to learn. And some of the people on the stage, well, we don't know. I can't read your resume before you start talking. I don't see your transcripts. I don't see any of that. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know you. Your circles with mics on there. So I have to wait for you to start talking. So as to understand who you are, how much you know, and whatever. So let's try to figure out, let's just keep on opening up the subject because there is a problem. There's a messaging problem. And if anyone disagrees, I like to hear it. But someone said it very well, or like Trump strongly, that this is a layup. All the stuff that's happening now, I've been the ones, I don't want to say me, I'll just say it's been said over and over and over that the Dems should be hitting hard. They should be everywhere. It should be them. We should see them everywhere talking about all this shit. They got so much. Damn. To talk about and to get themselves set so where the people who we call as stupid, dumb, and whatever can hear these, and that's I'm not gonna do that again because you automatically turn off your audience
just because you're calling them stupid and dumb. Yesterday I lost my fucking mind when somebody called me stupid. They didn't know me from Adam. And you're just gonna call me stupid when I open my mouth and I'm getting ready to say, you don't know me. I don't know you. So I'm not gonna do that tonight, maybe another day, but I love what you said, Matt, because everything you said was 100% correct. We do need to do a little bit more time studying. The young lady was talking about her stuff locally because that's what she knows. I don't know anything about Virginia. I'm barely keeping up with California and New York, but I'm leaving myself open to learn. So anybody else want to jump in right now? I'm sorry I cut somebody off. You can jump in.
Lisa, I want to jump in. Just three quick things. Somebody asked what was the name three things that the Democrats stand for. I can tell you that. It's maintaining the social net for those who need it through Medicare, Medicaid, and universal health care as much as they can. Shoring up unions through labor so people can have a livable wage. And then, of course, education, right? And as well as, champion the little person. As somebody said something about Mike Johnson went on air and called for the release of the Epstein files. You guys know not to fall for the okie doke, right? He went on Fox News and he said that, and then guess what he did in the House? He voted along with 210 other Republicans to not disclose anything. So he shows one hand, and then when it comes down to work, he hides the other. So that doesn't mean anything. Lohana and Massey, they put together an act, I think, to be voted on, I believe tomorrow, is called the Epstein Transparency Act, where they're asking for an up and down vote to have everything released, unredacted, everything released within 30 days from the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I see them making movement on that issue. The last thing, somebody said it earlier, the Republicans have backed Fox News. Go look at the ratings as to how many million viewership they get. Do you guys know that CNN, YouTubers are getting more views than CNN?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know that, right?
Let me hit that. Yes, we do know that.
Yeah. So our thing isn't in legacy media. It's in building our own. I mean, they had Voice of America, and that wasn't successful. Maybe now, in modern times, they can do another thing like that. But it's an independent media, and having the Democrats, Congress people, and senators not think they're too good to go to these YouTubers because, quite frankly, Midas Touch, Brian Tyler Cohen, Kyle Kalimsky, Breaking Point, they're getting more viewers than CNN. And and I know some of them are getting more than MSNBC, but Fox is a megahorn, and they get that message, and that is filtered through all the large Republican MAGA influences, Benny Johnson, the lib of TikTok, what's that other guy, Joe Prosovic. They have millions and then of course Elon Musk, the algorithm, it's set. It's stacked against a huge. It's a whole platform that MAGA has that it just works in. It is very well coordinated, and the Dems have not come up with anything that rivals that. And until they do, even when they do have a message, it's not amplified because they don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, you have to get ahead of the curve. So, I mean, I think that first of all, we can critique something, we can love something and still critique it. Right, we have to establish that because I may or someone else may say something about the Democratic Party and we have a critique doesn't mean that I'm going against the party. And nobody implied that. I just wanted to put that out there just in case. But I think that the bigger problem that the Dems do in some cases is their plans are better. The way that they want the direction they want the country to go in is way better. So it's frustrating sometimes when that message doesn't reach even the people that they that actually support them. Now, the American people, by and large, are not politically informed or otherwise educated people. So we have to approach with that in mind. And we can be real about that and not be insulting. That is the reality of where we are. So we tend to wait sometimes until the Republicans fuck things up so poorly that they don't have another choice but to swing back to the left. And then once you have gotten the reins, and then you're showing people the direction the country's going in, and it's a good thing. You don't take advantage of that and continue messaging even when you are doing things that are good. See, we are doing things that are good. We're trying to advance the American people in the right direction. This is what we are doing for you. This is what we plan on doing. But what we allow them to do is to message better than they do, even when you're doing better than they are. So it appears to the people that I just described that you're not doing the job the right way. Even though each time they grab the reins, they are not interested in governing in any way. And then they fuck the whole thing up, and then we start the cycle back over again, having these wild swings from the right to the left. That is in the most recent 25 to 30 years in the most recent 25 to 30 years. So the messaging has. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, that messaging has to be better. Like, even when you're doing better, you still have to message. And Democrats sometimes have, we give people more credit than probably we should, in that they understand what's being done for them is the right thing. And of course, they're going to continue voting this way because this is what's being done for you. This is what we've been able to achieve. But you have to keep gloating. You have to keep doing that because that's the era that we're in. You have to keep doing that. The messaging is important, and that's why it is important, Levon, even if you're lying like a Mike Johnson is, or he goes back and does something completely different after he comes to the podium and says that it is important to say that, because there are people who get stuck at that podium. They don't pay attention to what he's done after he's left. And they continue their effort to support based on that. So I've been on here a couple times and said, listen, I don't like to call people stupid. I don't like to say that. But I mean, the bottom line is that it is applicable to some people, and we have to treat them accordingly if you want their vote. We don't have time to educate people. At least not in this. Now, that needs to be the long-term effort, because you can keep people doing the right thing if you can do that. But the reality is that's not where we are as a country. We have to continue messaging to people to tell them what you're doing, and they will listen.
And it's not just what you say. It's also the fact that you say anything at all. I used to be a DNC member. My term ended last year, and at the Black Caucus meetings, we would have different people talking to us about different things. And one of the things they talked about was how Republicans are making inroads with black males, especially young black males. And the point of his whole thing was that, after the elections, Democrats don't say anything. And so the Republicans were saying things. And even though the stuff they were saying was wrong and not true, the fact that there was nothing being said from the other side, that allowed them to actually make inroads among young black people, especially young black men.
It's tough though, man, because you don't want to insult people, but damn it, at this point, there's too much at stake. Justice point, they're dumb, lean in, you have to message to them accordingly. I'm sorry, that's just what we are. And it's shitty but people have their own responsibility to catch up. Now, to be fair, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. No, I'm just talking. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say one great, rare example where the Democrats really, really, really did well, and media worked along with them, was that Kilmore Abrego Garcia. The work that Chris Van Hollen did and a couple of the other congressmen by shining a consistent, persistent light, not the fact that they're championing that he could have done any crimes, but that he didn't have due process. And I will tell you, if it wasn't for his work and the media constantly giving a spotlight to it, and the other Democrats, keep banging the drum, he would not be in the United States. They'd have kept him in CCOT. And then they got shy because they weren't sure, the Republicans brought up the possible human trafficking or whatever. But they did an excellent job. And I will tell you, some may not be able to see it, but Trump, two main platform ideas, he's underwater. He is not plus with immigration any longer, and he's not plus with the tariffs any longer. And even his own people hate the big ugly bill in polls. So they have made headway in those three areas. They just need to find a way to flip it and say what they're going to do differently in small, bite-sized words and meanings that people can understand, and not big policy papers or what have you. But they have made headway, and I'm thinking that they're on track on flipping the House, unless they do something, they gerrymander or whatever. But they're on track to flipping the House. So I mean, we saw what they did in I'm finished right now. You saw what they did in Wisconsin. They withstood $20 million that Elon pumped into that judge race. We saw that Democrat that won in Iowa broke tradition. We saw, I think it was, even in Florida, the two races here, they didn't win, but they came very close. And that was Matt Gaetz' old area, which is very, very red. They came incredibly close. So something's brewing. They just need to keep on doing with more fewer and more simplicity. And I think you may start to see those numbers change. I yield.
I think it's a big deal when you have an Epstein, Donald Trump talking about not wanting to reveal the Epstein problems. I don't know if there's an actual list, but I'll just say problems. And if anything's revealed that he's on it, or people in his party that he's associated with, if they're on it, there are many reasons, I would imagine, why they want to keep that private, because it would make the country possibly want Donald Trump to be impeached, because that's really bad. I don't care what people say when you're doing stuff to children, allegedly, because I don't know if Donald Trump did anything to children, but if he did, he talks about grabbing women and stuff. So let's be real, he might have grabbed a child and not wanted people to know. There was video of him in media and stuff hanging out with Epstein. So I don't know. I just think that it's a really strange time to try to have something covered up, because he knows that if that was revealed, that it would cost him. It would also be funny if Elon Musk used his capabilities and hacked or found that list. That would be weird, or found something related to that. That would be weird. I don't know if there's an actual list, but if he found the problems, that would be huge. That would be wow.
Nobody is doing none of that.
But now they're saying he didn't.
No, I know they're not doing that. I didn't say they did that.
No, I just think that it's important that we keep set expectations, and I don't want us I feel like we get we say things that sound good to us, but we have to remember what type of constituency, and meaning the millions of Americans that we're dealing with. And I would just, go listen to some of these podcasts and just go look at how many viewers they yield, and just look at the ignorance and how, I just think that all of it, I think LaRon was right. Keep your head down, keep doing, what we've been doing. Do the work under the cover of night, because getting out there, trying to beat them at their own game, I do not think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think this one's going to.
So, I think that everybody can agree on certain things. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You probably have an issue with the idea of the increase in human trafficking. You probably have agreement around the fact that our education system needs to be rehauled. I mean, there are things that we could talk about that we probably agree on that would get us closer to some type of cohesion than, always being on one side or the other. of the aisle on every single issue. You know what I mean?
But where has that? But what, like in the past, where has there been a place where we all were like, oh, this is bipartisan, we all agree? It's not. We're not there as a country. I just think that we should really, we're not. Even if we do agree, the pride and the attitudes on both sides are not. We're not conceding. Both sides are not doing that.
So you said because you kind of took the stage for me. But listen, so are you saying that there's on both sides of the aisle, they're on opposite sides of the fact that we have a housing problem?